line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, a brand new league and a brand new filtered series coming out on the track and coming out to our landscape here on PT Race TV. We're now set to showcase to you the first race of their season in the Pit Stall Summer Series right here on PT and Racing TV. I got one of the Crusader, Christian Schreiber, joining you guys here today. My good friend, colleague as well, joins me here in the booth. Sparkalicious, Sparky, Dustin Sonaker are joining me back here on the show. And Sparky, it's good to have you back here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to be back here yet again. Get to hear my wonderful voice here with yours and get to start off with this new league here. This is exciting.
Exciting to see, exciting some prospects coming our way here, and really a lot of hard racing, hard driving guys coming out here trying to put on a little bit of a show for the fans and the crews at home, and we certainly can't wait to see as qualifying right now is currently being put under the test and put under the radar right now. Field's currently just doing their last minute sessions up here on the show, and we'll talk with some of our drivers here as well throughout. You have a little word and thoughts on how they're feeling and how they're going about this race today. And I think the first one we'll bring in real quick, just kind of give a word from her as she goes up against some of the top dogs in the pound here. Will be, of course, Chantel Throttle Pottle joining us here. And Chantel, great to have you back on the show here, and good to hear from you kind of from a point in now, having to take on some bigger guys in the truck series.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a fast bunch, so more seat time, the better, I guess. So I guess we'll see how it goes.
Last time you were here at Landmark Speedway, you had quite a bit of a race here, having to go the full distance and really taking some of these boys to the wire. What do you do to kind of take some of that energy you had back from that Sunday race into this kind of battle?
It's a big field here, so I'm just gonna save my truck and hope for the best for the end of it. It's 100 laps, so it's a lot more than what we normally run on Sundays. So
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, here 100 laps to the distance here at Landmark Speedway. Should be a good one. Best of luck out there.
thanks.
Chantel Throttle Ball, ladies and gentlemen, having a time to talk with us here. Get ready for tonight's action as we currently watch on the rest of the field, just kind of laying down the tracks line. Dustin, I think you think it's about time we take a look at our track tech talk before we get really wrapped into this, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. Let's take a look at this wonderful place that was Atlanta Motor Speedway. It still is in iRacing, of course, still the old Atlanta Motor Speedway. But yeah, let's just give it a look here.
Mile and a half in length here. Banking's progressively as good as they can get. About 24 degrees in banking. This place will absolutely tear your tires up and make you think twice about trying to dare just on the Atlanta heat that comes with it. And this speed, this place, this kingdom it comes, it certainly should be an interesting little get up for many of these drivers. But I think the biggest thing to watch out for is tire wear, fuel consumption, as well as who can lay down the fastest laps throughout this race. I think honestly it could boil down to two things, just timing and strategy today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it will come to strategy, especially if with as big of a field as we got here tonight, whether or not we get short runs with a couple cautions or if we actually get a really long green flag run mixed in between there. Definitely going to be really scratching each other's heads here of what strategy to go with as the race goes on.
It certainly will indeed here, Dustin. So right now, as we're getting ready to get into the race, though, I think it's time we chit-chat with some of the other guys down here real quick. We'll take a listen and see if maybe we have some friends that'd like to join us here. Gordon Larson Jr., you got a copy down there?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, well, nevertheless here, Gordon, great to have you on board for the first time this season on here on the PT Race TV side of things here. As you got ready to get up on the track here, you qualified back in the pack a little bit here in the 21st slot. How did the truck feel, though, kind of coming off the corners down here?
I drove it a little too hard. I messed up my qualifying effort, but the laps I got in with the truck before qualifying, truck feels pretty good actually. I think it's going to be pretty good on the long run.
Pretty good on the long run, and really it seems like that's going to be kind of a lot of people's strategies here. Do you think maybe, though, that will be how it all plays out, or do you think some of these drivers may get a little too aggressive out of the gate?
Yeah, I think we might get a little aggressive out of the gate.
Well, we'll see how it all plays out here, but nevertheless, Gordon, we really do appreciate coming on board here. We'll see what happens as we get ready for tonight's action.
I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gordon Larson Jr. making his TV debut here in that big 00. Sparky, I give you props. I give you a click. Who do you think I should bring in next?
Let's see. How about the guy that's currently looks like he's on top of the leader here? Let's see if we can get that Justin Levine in.
Justin Levine. Well, let's see if he is in the show. I don't believe he's actually on the call list here, my friend. I think we might not be able to talk with him here.
Oh man.
Maybe pick another one here. We got anyone else maybe we could pick? I know we got a few here.
Yeah, let's see.
I know one of them in here. If you want me to pick him real quick, I'd talk with him. He knows me too well.
Well, go right on ahead.
All right, well, if you insist. I think Chris Medford even wants to hear from him too, because he's the one that knows him well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Doug Wysocki back on the call here. And Doug, as we're literally just now seeing you guys are getting ready to go back to the race here and get ready for tonight's action. It's good to have you back on board, man, and good to hear from you from a different league, Spence, man.
Yeah, man. Glad to hear from you guys. You guys are awesome.
Well, appreciate the support, man. So, Doug, I know you were your mindset back when you were on the IROC series, having a little bit of fun. And I presume that doesn't change much here going into this kind of racing, does it?
No, I mean, my bottom line always is to have fun. I love the trucks, man. Most of my leagues are truck leagues, so yeah, this truck feels pretty good here. Just got to manage these tires tonight. See what happens.
Manage the tires and deal with your number one fan as well, Chris Medford. I mean, is that kind of add a little bit of pressure to have to do well here on this track for you and your crew, you think?
Oh yeah, my boy Chris. Yeah, all my guys over at Falcon are awesome. I appreciate each and every one of them.
For sure there. All right, Doug, well, nevertheless, best of luck as we get ready for tonight's action.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Doug Wysocki, ladies and gentlemen, here. He'll pilot it up today by the number 34, and it's that time of day again, Dustin. You know what it is.
Yeah, I believe it's time to get down there and get to our starting grid here tonight. What do you think?
Well, I'd say so too, my bud. Let's go ahead and take a look at it here. Let's get to the gridding order. We'll start on the rows, and we know how it goes. Row number 1, we'll see Justin Levine. Your number 1 seed in the 19 is outside. It's Derek Paulson in the 17.
In row number 2, we've got Dustin Franklin in car number 47, and in truck number 15, it's Jeff Clifton.
In row number 3, we see Randy Blessody. In the number 47 to his outside, that will be Bledsoe, I should say. And his outside, that will then be driven by Clayton Fry in the 28.
In row number 4, we're going to have Andy Poston in the number 61 and Cody J. Nelson in truck number 7.
In row number 5, then it's Ty Morosco and 13's outside. That is piloted by Heath Snyder.
Row number 6 is Douglas Wasaki there at number 34, and Michael Taylor in number 12.
In row number 7, then John Garrett will be in the 66 with Tim Lee piloting in the 24.
Row 8, we have Joseph Mikes in number 9 and Chantel de Throttle Pottle in number 5.
In row 9, you then see Ian McNeese there in the number 84, and then his outside Eric Blount in the 6.
In row number 10, we got Tim Williams in truck 45 and DJ Mitchell in truck number 61.
Tim Williams in the 45, DJ Mitchell, and that's 51 as you said. And then, of course, 03 of Cody Griffith, Cody Larson Jr. in the 00, the 60 of Brian Rainville, the 388 of Douglas R. Johnson, 72 of Shepard Tatus, and the 08 of Robert Smith. That rounds out the field. And race fans, if it kind of wasn't already obvious, we're racing here at Hotlanta.
Well, we just got that in just as we got the green flag, and here we are going down the back straightaway. They're already side by side trying to jockey for position.
3 wide saloon, we're at 3, and a few of these drivers here moving into position. Now you got a whole 100 list up front here in turn number 4, nearly 4 wide saloon coming off of turn 4 between some of the heavy hitters in the middle.
Man, 4 wide? Are you kidding me? Are they already starting 4 wide? We're just on lap 1. What's going on?
I don't know, but they must have thought that was a good idea to get around that track area. That's one of the hardest places to get a corner off of in turn 4, I'll tell you that much. That flat banking end ending into the quad oval section of that track, well, that'll literally ring your bell a few times, and maybe if you're lucky, rattle your cage if you're not unlucky.
Definitely. Sure. Looks like Mr. Jeffrey Todd touchdown 72. Looks like he had to go down through pit road. He's back out on the racetrack, but he's lost a lap, it looks like, so far.
Todd's have some mechanical problems, unfortunately, out of the gate. That'll slow down his speed a little bit as we keep focusing in on the battle between Morasso, Nelson, Snyder, Lesdo, Poston, and Franklin. And we'll say real quick up ahead, we do apologize if we messed up a few names. I know I messed up on Len McNeese's name, and I know I also got Bledsoe really crossed up. So my apologies to those two out of the gate here. We'll get better as we go from our broadcasting end.
Yeah, that's quite all right. This is just the first start of the season, so we all got to get our jitters out. Once we get our jitters out, we'll be right on the pine every week and bring it to you.
Chris Becker is saying, is that Jason Fluffy Garrett? If I presume so, it would be Jason Fluffy Garrett, I would presume, my friend. It is John Garrett in the 66, I can tell you that much, piloting up the Fort Worth Printing and Screening and Printing Machine, which is a title sponsor here for the pit stop. Whoa! Well, now I see what you got all excited about there, Sparky. We got trouble down here on the front straightaway. Huge wreck ensuing right in the front.
Oh, boy. We're going to really have to take a look at that PTM instant replay on that. I saw one truck flipping up in the air.
Led McNeese destroyed out here on the track. It looked like a few other guys kind of involved in that one. We'll take a look and see who got it. Presented by Fort Worth Screening and Printing. Yeah, there was one driver up in the air. A lot of other drivers just trying to avoid the trouble, but I couldn't get a full count. I couldn't get a full idea who was in the air exactly though when that happened. See if we can get a good look here. Oh, actually, I think that might have been the 13th Ty Marasco.
Yeah, I believe that is who that was.
Take a look at it here. Came off turn number 4, and whoa, yeah, he got airborne. Chantel Bottle literally looked like she was going under a ladder. I hope that didn't give her some bad luck for her troubles, but that 33, I'm not really sure what went wrong down there for Justin Levine, but we'll take one last look at it from the PTM Instant Replay. We had a drone cam coming down there, keeping an eye on these guys, and well, this is a bit of a shocker. Levine, the wheel turned straight left, everything just completely broken. By the way, he was your race leader, and that is one of the craziest things you'll see. I always said those next gens were a pain in the butt if you're leading because you never knew how they were going to work. I think the Truck Series may have just sent them for a bit of a loop there.
Yeah, it looks like according to his crew down there for Justin Levine down there, it looked like his wheel got disconnected. So wow, what a strange turn of events there to have your wheel just be disconnected going into the corner. And that's pretty a wild ride there for him.
Especially considering it's literally right in front of the entire track and the entire field there, unfortunately. What a tough break for Justin Levine here. He's going to have to try to get this thing figured out, dial it back up. Now, granted, if you're going to wreck early, we always say it on PJ's TV, do it sooner rather than later because you can get time back for that. But Brian Laneville letting us know down there about that as well. Thanks, Brian, for coming on board here today.
Right. Like trucks still coming down pit lane. Looks like the leaders are now all coming down pit lane right now. And pretty much every time you're going to see a caution come out, I'm pretty sure these guys are going to be on pit road. Definitely thinking about getting tires.
Thinking about getting tires, thinking about getting set up on the track. I think it's time we take a listen in some of these guys now. Piloting up in the X-Side machine here in the Toyota Tundra. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eric Blount to the call. Eric, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How's it going?
Doing all right on our end here. So right now, this number 6 XI machine catches a little bit of a break. We'll go up to the front row now of the positions, but with what you just saw there with Levi, unfortunately losing power and everything, I mean, you gotta believe the truck's tightened up a little bit more now.
Yeah, I mean, we only ran a couple of laps, so tires is not an issue, I don't think. It's just a little extra fuel, but nobody can make it from here, so we just gonna stay out and see what happens.
Stay out, see what happens. Indeed, there. Now, I'll ask you this too. I mean, with being up in the front here and with what you got behind you, this being the first race of the season, is there any kind of pressure you're feeling, kind of getting set up for this here?
No, I'm pretty used to it. You know, I race with these guys all the time, so that's nothing new. We just gonna go at it.
For sure there. All right, Blount, we do appreciate your time here, sir. Best of luck as you get ready to get back to the green.
Thank you, buddy.
Eric Blount, ladies and gentlemen, the number 6 piloting up the XI Toyota Tundra right now as we get fielded back into position. Chantel Bottle moving up 12 spots. Gordon Larson Jr. going 18. Blount went 17. Jeff Clinton, well, he only went up 2, but the MAV TV Plus certainly don't mind that too much down there.
No, not at all. Yeah, gain any position as long as you keep going forward and not going the opposite direction. You're doing pretty good.
Absolutely, indeed. So right now, as we get them double filed back up, everybody trying to get into their proper positions, proper order. 26 drivers made the call, 25 got to the grid, and a few of them have already been kind of sent to the shadow realm, and a few of them may be dealing with a few glitch graphic gremlins down there, to say the least here.
Yeah, it looks like Justin is still on pit road trying to get himself sorted out down there for the time being. As we get them stacked up here in turn 4, and looks like we are going to go back to the green here very shortly.
Bring him back to the green, bring him back down the line off of turn number 4 here. The 7 of Cody Nelson's going into pit road. Not sure what's going on with him, unfortunately, but that will set up the field for this restart here. We're back at it, and they're off and running.
We go back down into turn number 1, side by side, pretty much all the rows deep back in here. Turn number 2, Jeff Clifton still holding on to the lead, I think, number 2.
Dodd Post in here, going right into the mix here. He's going right up top of the number 00, Gordon Larson Jr., trying to put the Exalta into a very little tight scenario here, trying to keep him honest and see whether he's going to get the run off him or if he's going to actually just force him to have to charge back out of it.
I noticed early on, it looks like a lot of these guys are trying to use the bottom early to try to get as many spots as they can before things get kind of settled out with the tires and everything.
Now, why do you think that is here, Dustin? Do you think maybe it's some of these drivers just trying to find a certain line, or what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking they're trying to get up and run as forward as possible before the next big thing happens. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's one thing to say the next big thing happens, but I think it's another to say that they ended up just want to try to pass each other as quick as possible. That's one thing I'll say. As for Medford, we did read your comment. We're going to go ahead and figure that out. Sparky, can you go ahead and figure out what we got on the tires and how many FUS repairs we're getting today?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give that a look here real quick and see what we've got with that.
While he's doing that, race fans, we got a little bit of a storyline developing. John Garrett in the 66 trying to make a move up on that 12 of Michael Taylor on the outside. While the 9 of Joe Misch tries to hold both of them back and keep them down, taking 2 for the price of 1.
Right, and just to update you folks on that scenario, they have 1 fast repair and 3 sets of tires.
3 sets of tires out of a 100 lap race, only 1 fast repair. Oh! Whoa! Woo! That got a little bit scary.
Wow, what a job by John Garrett in the 66 to hold on to that thing. Boy, he was almost gone.
He was almost gone. As we take a look at the PT Mr. replay, you can see he literally had to find a way to find himself out of a rabbit hole here. Here is his Fort Worth screen printing number 66 onboard camera. Look at that. Had to pile it down to the inside, pretty much avoiding trouble. Got a few drivers for position. Did lose a few as well for that, but the fact that he was able to maneuver around that is pretty darn impressive. Nicely done.
Indeed. So with these guys, you know, only having those 3 sets of tires, that's, you know, you got to manage your tires definitely. But only having been that one fast repair, that's gonna hurt like a lot of these guys, especially if they get in a big wreck like we saw a little while ago.
Yeah, I would say more than likely too. One thing I think honestly these guys were just and gals I should say too, because we're on board with Chantel Bottle here, but I think they're not necessarily worried too much more about the wrecks as they're more worried about just trying not to drive right through each other here, considering how fast, how spacey this track gets. I mean, even in its infancy when Atlanta Speedway was created, we've known this track to literally be one of the toughest and the fastest tracks that was a mile and a half in length, that was a mile long in length. And it was actually, when it conformed into the mile and a half, the cookie cutter style that we now know today, it really kind of changed the landscape, kind of changed the route that we see in racing. But back then when it was the oval, it was, most people said point blank, it was one of the fastest ovals and one of the toughest ovals to win at. There's a reason why even too, it was actually the championship race for NASCAR for all good couple years or so.
Yeah, absolutely. And this track especially, you know, it's very, very high speed, but also now it's even known for tire wear. Back in the day, it kind of was more or less for speed. I mean, there back in the 90s, I believe Jeff Bodine said the qualifying speed of 197 miles an hour around this point. And these guys were flying around here, but then as the track aged and it got some wear on it over time, it started getting that little bit of like a Darlington type feel where it's just started to eat up tires a lot. Now it's become more of how much can I push it? And meanwhile, oh, speaking of, here goes John Garrett around on turn 2.
Down off turn number 2, down the back straightaway, and Garrett has spun to a screeching halt. Unfortunately, we'll take a look at the replay in just a minute as he comes to a dead stop. And seems though the truck didn't take too much damage from our end, but never to be too sure until you take a look at the PT Instant replay. Well, he got lucky earlier, Dustin, in turn 2, but the racing gods sometimes don't always grant you a second one, and he got a little love. He got a little help there. Got a tap there from number 45. That was Tim Williams. But honestly, for what happened to him, that was probably one of the softest hits he actually could have gotten from that angle. But I don't know if Tim may be feeling the same later on if Garrett could get to him. That could be a little receipt being ticketed right now for him.
That definitely could be. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, he did a good job of keeping it nailed down, and you know, not getting minimal damage on that thing. Probably won't even have to use a fast repair for that. He can just come down. They can take a little hammer out there and just beat out the back end a little bit, and he'll be all right.
Driver's heading down to the pit road now, so we'll get him all squared away here and let him just kind of pulser him off into the distance into the corners. Jeffrey Tatas will stay on out. Looks like he's going to be one of the lone drivers to stay out on the track. This would be an interesting strategy if I do say so myself. I mean, I don't mind having to try to work around the long distance haul and the long distance run, but I think probably the biggest thing I could personally see being a big factor is trying to actually do what he's doing right now. It's a very big risk to actually try to come away from that and come away clean too.
It is. He may be doing, and him and the couple other trucks that stayed out, what they might have their mindset is trying to save a set of tires. I know some of us that ran in the Sunday race a while back. That's what some of us tried to do is basically we come down, maybe even get a splash of gas or even just stay out and try to save a set of tires for the end. So maybe we'd have a set just in case, you know, the strategy prolongs that. And maybe that may be the kind of thinking that's going on up there. But basically, if any of these guys came down pit road and got tires, obviously he's going to be a sitting duck.
Well, speaking of that, we'll see what the tires can do for some drivers. Let's listen into the 15 of Jeff Clinton right now as he is with us here. Jeff, you got a copy down there?
I do. How are you?
We're doing pretty good today, sir. So right now, as we were just talking about it here, you guys got some fresh tires, got some tire sets ready to go back at it. But I gotta ask you, we've seen before here in Atlanta how difficult some of these starts can be for you and your crew. How difficult it is to get that start just right before those tires start spinning on the front.
Yeah, you just gotta kind of ease into it a little bit. I like to short shift so that I can keep the RPM just slightly lower so that the tires don't feel like they want to spin. But I mean, you know, you got to keep everybody behind you. You also got to keep the truck straight and try to, you know, get into that first corner smooth. So it's a balancing act.
It definitely is a balancing act. And speaking of balancing as well, right, I'm going to talk about this here. There's multiple lanes and multiple lines you can hit, of course, with Atlanta, but I presume with the bottom lane, that's where most of the drivers are going to head to for the speed, but the outside, how much is that tire saving going to do up there, you think?
Yeah, the top is going to be better for the long run. I like to run the bottom personally because I feel more comfortable down there. My corner entry going middle to top isn't that great, so I don't feel like I have enough speed up there to keep up with some of the guys up front. But that's where tire strategy will come into play. So that's pretty much what I got in store for everybody tonight. I'm just gonna try to play strategy while everybody else is saving tires.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Clinton, we do appreciate coming on board here today. Best wishes and luck as you get ready to get back at it, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Clinton here on the call here and on the list here with us, chatting up a storm and having a little fun down here. And Sparky, I'm not gonna lie, I think my overlay system just glitched out on me again.
Uh-oh, now the gremlins are coming after you now.
I can't catch a break with these glitch graphic gremlins, man. Like ever since that update, they've completely taken up all my stuff and all my resources. They have now made it harder and harder than ever before.
Oh my, well, a lot of the gremlins try to attack us here, and we try to fend them off here. We are definitely getting set up here to go back to green flag racing. We've already got 20 laps in the books, so we're moseying on along here so far.
Yeah, I will say real quick up front, guys, I do apologize if you kind of see some amateur camera angles being thrown around here. We are not trying to do that or anything like that. It's just, unfortunately, it's kind of stuck like that on our end.
All right, we're going to line them back up, and we're back under green right now. Green flag is in the air, and we're back underway.
Back on our way indeed. Here in the field, we'll move our way down into the chains, down into position as we are back at it.
I tell you what, we talked about the restart a little bit ago, and I saw one truck there on the restart kind of spin his tires and got up into the wall there a little bit. It is kind of tricky on these restarts on this racetrack when you get to the green, especially on the bottom lane. Known from experience myself, I've done it myself. You try to get up and get going, and all of a sudden those rear tires just don't get up to snuff, and the next thing you know, you're trying to control your truck and not trying to hit the wall or hit anybody else, or in my case, go down pit road.
Basically kind of throwing yourself to the wire, kind of throwing yourself to the line right now. Here, the field continues to pace their way into position, trying to keep themselves under control. Drivers now in a hot leg, hot foot, trying to keep up and keep out of trouble.
Yes, indeed, and right now, Jeff Lifton still showing the way here in engine 15 truck. There's one in second position. Here they come down the straightaway again, lap 24 in the books. Everybody kind of trying to get to almost trying to get to a single file here.
I may end up having to have you literally tell me the lap counter and everything, because right now I'm still having all sorts of problems trying to get this back up.
Well, we're just gonna have to get on them producers about this kind of stuff here as we keep on going on, but we'll get it figured out here. I mean, we're known to get ourselves right back up where we're going from, and just first race of the season here, guys. We'll be all right. We'll get all figured out here as we continue to watch what's going on out here right now. These guys have kind of settled themselves down, kind of got some side-by-side action going on. Right now, lap 25, we are now a quarter away through this race.
Yeah, certainly indeed here, Dustin. And right now the field can starting to get a little bit more coincide, a little bit more on the edge as we got a caution flag flying out, it looks like. Or no.
Yeah, we do have a caution. Yeah, we do have a caution. I'm not sure what caused that, though.
I'm not completely sure either. I couldn't try to figure out what exactly happened down there.
I saw looked like the 72. Todd Tuffs got into the wall there a little bit, but he kept going, but I didn't see anybody get spun around or anything.
Might have to take a look at the PT Mr. replay here in a minute, and may have to pull up something else here in a second. But we definitely can't have us not showing anything on the overlay and who is where and who is what. So if we can get that fixed, we'll get it fixed right away. But I had no troubles earlier, but now all of a sudden it broke on me again, so I apologize in advance, guys. All right, hold on a
Like
minute.
some of the trucks are coming down pit road as we speak. A couple of the guys in the middle of the field coming down pit road. Like Jeff Clinton's going to stay out. Looks like Chantel Pottle's going to stay out for the time being.
Indeed, they will. As currently, guys, I know this is probably about as bush league as we get here on PT Race TV, but you're gonna have to work with us here. So sorry.
Now those that have pitted are now coming back out to the racetrack as we're under the caution flag here. Lap 27 out of 100. Jeff Clifton showing the way here. He decided to stay out. Chantel Pottle decided to stay out on this front here. So it looks like a little bit of strategy being played here as some of these guys are now, I'm thinking, we're starting to think now at this point, now it might be at a point where we're into that tire saving mode, trying to save sets of tires at this point instead of burning them all up.
That's something kind of to note too, is how tricky it'll be kind of for the later half of the stage, kind of later half of this race here for these drivers, and they know they're gonna have to find themselves in a few bad spots and a few bad angles here throughout. So. Well, we do have the timing sheet back up. We have at least the lap counter and the names and stuff. But again, guys, I know this is not the usual stuff, so I really do apologize. But yeah.
And we do have quite a developing story here. Remember that 13 truck that ended up up in the air earlier and had the power problems or the disconnected wheel earlier? Mr. Levine is back on the lead lap. So he has made up all those laps that he had to sit down there to try to get his equipment fixed up. So again, that goes back to your point about, if you have problems early on, you can kind of come back from them. And right now he's back on the lead lap. He's got a chance to get back in this race.
So Levine, yeah, back on the lead lap here, and of course now setting himself into position to possibly start to make a little bit of a resurgence, a little bit of a comeback here in the 19. But again, this is kind of one of those things that he's going to know he has got to really watch himself for later in the run. Because this is where things can get a bit tricky, a bit of a hard track race in here, to say the least.
Absolutely. Speaking of hard track racing, looks like we're going to be hard tracking right back to this green flag here in just a moment. Everybody lined up here. Jeff Clinton, the leader. Derek Paulson is in second. Chantel Pottle in third. Gordon Larson Jr. in fourth. And Cody Griffin in fifth. That's your top five as we're back under green. Lap 29 underway. Here we go.
And back up and away, and we're back on the race here. We're set to go back to it. Field is off and running. Jeff Clinton, the 15, takes the early lead. Derek Paulson, Chantel Pottle, Cody Griffin, and Randy Bledsoe have now currently holds up their top five.
But how long are they going to stay up there? A couple guys behind them came down pit road. Did they have fresher tires? Did they come down and get fuel? It's hard to tell. But we'll have to see how this all pans out. Since some of these folks did stay out, some others didn't. We'll have to see how it goes out here.
Timing and running on the sheets here. Everybody moving in positions, trying to hold on. A little bit of movement coming up here. It's Cody Griffin, the 0-3 now, looking to kind of cross thread in the middle, trying to make some speeds up. Whoa! Well,
Wasaki.
Doug Wysocki, the 34, going to set backpacking around to the Shadow Realm and now has to figure out a way to get back at it with these guys. Troubles there down on the back straightaway, unfortunately, will slow up his pace and slow down the field.
I'm just amazed that these guys are getting on turn two. It seems like the guys behind them are getting such a run that they're getting into the back of the truck in front of them, and then that's causing them problems. But the guys that are getting loose and getting like that are, able to save them. Doing a wonderful job.
Doing a great job. Also, really just kind of seeing how tricky and how fast some of these guys are taking up on the track and trying to deal with the added excrement of being pushed and banged around a little bit. I would have to feel like if you're kind of in this position, you're kind of on this spot, I would think it would really be a bit disheartening knowing you're literally having to find a way out of the packs and having to find a way around the track or anything.
Yeah, especially when you get these type of runs, because these trucks draft up so well. You get these type of runs, and you get up in there, and you think you try to fit it down in somewhere, and then you get cut off. It's like you really have to have a lot of patience in these
Whoa,
early laps. Uh-oh.
that's definitely not going to be patience. All right, yellow flag flies out on a turn number 4. Big wreck, unfortunately, as the number 45, Tim Williams, gets a little click there from one of the drivers. I don't know, that might have been John Garrett giving him the old love punch there, or the love tap, if you will. But either way, he got sent packing around down off a corner of turn number 3 and 4, and man, what a hit there for that 45.
I was kind of watching that pack right before that happened, and let me tell you something. I kind of had a feeling that something was going to happen, because there was not a lot of giving in that pack right there.
The PTM Racing TV It's a Replay shows all and tells all, race fans. Came down on the back straightaway here, and looked like Garrett. Actually, no, it was Williams that kind of started it by simply just tagging the driver in front of him. And then Garrett got a piece of him there, unfortunately, and then it was pretty much just a wreck fest out of that. But it's a tough break there for these guys. But man, talk about a wild little hit there from these drivers.
Yep, and there goes some of that all-important fast repair. Remember, again, folks, they only get one of them, so you got to be wise on when to use that fast repair. Once it's gone, you ain't gonna get it back, and if you get a hard hit like that again, you'll be on pit road for quite a while.
I was about to say, Brian Rainville and Ty Morasso and Chris Bedford have been talking all about that. Ty, thanks for coming on board, by the way, to watch the race. But a bit of a tough break there for you and the crew, unfortunately. So, but hopefully we'll see you more about here and back on the track in due time. But he definitely had a bit of a bad break, unfortunately, here. Kind of found himself in the unfortunate hole that a truck series can bring you into here. So, well, we got more time to talk to some drivers here, as I'm currently trying to still work around the bugs and the glitches here that I'm dealing with on my end. Dustin, I'm not sure which kind of glitch graphic gremlin you made upset down on the track here, but I really wish you would tell me before you messed with him here.
I swear I have nothing to do with that.
Alright, fair enough. Well, Driver also says we'll see more of him, but Len McNeese right now currently also on the camera here with us here as he joins us now in the 84. Len, how you doing today, sir? Pretty good here. So right now as you head into pit road, I gotta believe the truck has been kind of handling the track in the mid packs all right, but what's it like seeing those pack drivers kind of get piled in here?
Oh, it's been a mess up there. I got in that first wreck there and got 2 laps down and been trying to catch up ever since.
And catching up indeed. It looks like you might be on the lead lap here. So with that being said, I mean, what's going to be the strategy being on the lead lap, get back at it with these guys?
Just trying to save enough tires to be there at the end, and hope to be in the right place at the right time. I already had to use one quick repair, so I hope they don't get another pile up.
Hey, you never know here in the motorsport world. We've always said expect the unexpected. So we'll see what happens here, Len. But thank you for your time, sir.
All right, thank you.
Like McNessie there in the number 84 here, chatting away with us here as we get ready to get our drivers back to the green.
Yep, and look what's going on here. Interesting on who's actually leading the race now. John Garrett, who we've seen get sideways many times already tonight. Now he's up here up front leading this thing.
Well, I mean, he's leading this thing, but I mean, how long will he be able to lead it? Because he's going to have to find a way to deal with the added pressure that these drivers are going to bring to him. Everybody except him was in pit road that last go around, so he'll be on a little bit of warmer tires, whereas the colder tire drivers are going to really be making him think twice about this one.
Yep, I'm definitely interested to see how this strategy pans out. Seems like everybody's kind of playing the caution game here. When the caution comes out, do I pit, not pit, when do I pit, when do I put the tires on, when do, had so many variables here with all these short runs going on. It's hard to kind of figure out at this point.
It really is indeed. Well, nevertheless, though, Dustin, as we're ready to get back to it, I mean, is there any driver out here that you think is honestly probably going to be a favorite coming to the end of this race?
I got my eye on that 15 truck. He's been up in the front pretty much the whole race so far, even with all the strategy going on, and even Chantel Pottle in the 5 as well. I think both of those trucks right now been up in that top 5 for a good bit. So right now they look pretty stout right now.
We've had experience with Chantel Pottle before here and deal with her as a driver as well as a racer, and she definitely can give you a boot or two when it comes to truck series. She is a former champion, by the way, in this division. So we'll see if she can bring that back to her credibility and back to her world as we bring our drivers back to the green. Yellow turns to green, and we're back out of the track.
Back out of the track, and we are back underway as we go down into turn number 1. Looks like Cody Nelson's actually going to take the lead from Garrett into turn 1 and coming off of turn 2 here.
Justin Levi in the 19 after that little horrendous wreck he had us suffered earlier on. Well, he's had enough of waiting around. He's had enough of being put back there. He's going full on, full throttle assault, charging right into the mix.
Absolutely, yep. Trying to get up more up toward the front because it seems like a lot of the messy stuff's not happening up there. The further front you get, the more likely you're not going to get in the mess.
Not get into that mess, not get into a bad spot. Eric Clown. Got some problems down there. Doug Arsaki as well. Both no caution yet thrown, so everyone will just lead him off down the back straightaway. Huge pack of drivers continuing to go at it, and some getting clipped up in between as the double O Gordon Larson Jr. takes the 12. Unfortunately, right into the mix with Michael Taylor. We've got a huge wreck in the back straightaway, turn 3.
Oh boy, what a mess! And yeah, again over there in turn 3, it looked like that was what the issue was there, especially for that 12 truck. Unfortunately, getting tangled up in that. A couple others got tangled into that too.
Turn 2 is that flat spot exiting off the turn. Turn 3 and 4, it literally seems like it's just racing and ordeals dealing with down there. It seems like there's nowhere to go and there's nowhere to hide, and obviously there's nowhere to run up there, but you can see right here Taylor actually kind of clipped in there with the double O Larson, and I think Larson, because of where he got hit at, found himself in a bit of a bad spot, and then he really found him in a bad spot. Take one more look at it here.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see him coming off turn number 2 here. He had a good run, good little speed. There's that bump. That's the initial contact that got him loose. And yeah, the 12 definitely kind of started that ordeal, unfortunately. And Gordon Larson ends up just kind of being the guinea pig that gets taken for a ride there. What a tough break there for him and the crew, though. That is definitely not how he wanted it to play out.
Absolutely, and I'm wondering how many of those trucks that got involved in that one had already used up the fast repair, and now they have to struggle with going down there and have to actually repair the damage. Looks like we mentioned the 84. We just talked to him a little bit ago. He's on pit road for an extended stay down there, and he mentioned earlier he was already out of his fast repair, so already concerns down there for that bunch down there. There's a couple trucks down there on pit road with extensive damage.
It certainly is indeed. We'll have to listen in a few of these drivers right now and see how they're handling the nerves and how they're feeling right at this moment. But I'd say probably more than anything, the biggest thing we're just going to have to kind of keep our eye on is the lineup here that is coming further and further into this race. And one of them that has been known to keep it up with everybody is, of course, the 24 Tim Lee here. And Tim, as we join you here for the first time today, my friend, I mean, it seems like this truck's been kind of in that mid-pack in the upper half. It just wants to get a little more speed. What's going on down there with you and the crew?
Yeah, just saving a little bit, just trying to fill everybody out, see what everybody's doing, and then fortunately I had to use a fast repair right there, but I threw some tires on the previous pit stop, so we'll see what happens.
So now the fresh set of tires here in about, let's say, roughly about 57, 58 laps when you get back to the green. What's it going to take, you think, to get around some of these guys on the long haul?
Well, there's two things. Either I conserve a little bit more and thinking that we're going to be able to finish under the sun because there's no lights here, or I push it a little bit thinking that we're going to have a race that's not 100 laps, maybe 80. So we'll see. We got some strategy I got to figure out, but I got to watch to see what that sun's doing first.
For sure there. Well, Tim, we do appreciate coming on board. Welcome to the show again, and thanks for coming on down.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Tim Lee, ladies and gentlemen, number 24, taking some time to chat with us here as we get ready to bring him back up into the field and back up into the track. I know we don't have Justin Levine to talk with, unfortunately, so we'll have a few of the other guys we'll bring in a time or two. But right now, I think, Sparky, I think we're just about ready to get back to green. I think we'll... So I was going to say maybe we could talk to 03 at Cody Griffin, but I think he might have a tire going down on his end.
Oh. Yeah, but he's coming down the pit lane. He's looking like they're up. Oh,
Oh, no,
yeah,
maybe
maybe
not.
not.
No, maybe it's just my bad vision. I know I need to wear glasses, but
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Maybe I've got a little bit of glitch gremlins going on my side
I
too a
was
little
about to
bit.
say, you're not the one having to deal with all the camera angles and making sure everything's working all right on your head at least, so.
I can't let you left out with all this.
Brian Rainville just said, hold my beer. Well, I mean, depends on which part you want to hold the beer on, my friend. That's all I'm going to tell you. Anyway, we're getting ready to get back to the action, and I promise you guys by next week we should have everything, and I do mean everything, fixed on the overlay system to where we should be presenting in our normal high quality standards. So, again, we do appreciate you at least sticking around and holding out with us, but if you do like what you hear and you like what you see, of course, be sure to like and follow us up on Facebook. Head to our YouTube, subscribe there, and we promise you that we should not have to use that simracingapps.com overlay too often than not. We only have it as a backup in case the other one goes out, so.
Right, well, it looks like we are getting them all stacked up here. It looks like we are about ready to unfurl that green flag out here one more time. Here we go.
Indeed, indeed. We're back at it once more.
We go rumbling down here into turn number 1. Cody J. Nelson and John Garrett still up in the front. Garrett holding pretty serve up there right now. And here we go. We're side by side again as we come off turn 2.
You know, that sun going down, that brings up a good point Tim Lee brought up, which is there's no lights on this track. I mean, if you're a driver that knows the sun is starting to fade, do you think maybe that is causing some of these guys to get a little bit more aggressive? It's almost like kind of, I don't know, like the Wolfman, if you will, that story, if anyone knows that horror story.
That is a valid point, and that may up the tempo even more than it already has been in this race. I mean, these guys have been pretty much all over each other all race, and now with that in mind, with the time going low and even the sun getting lower out there, it may be time to go a lot sooner than you think.
Sure, that Robert Van Ness by saying, if it can't happen, it will happen. You are forgiven. Robert, appreciate it, but that does mean a lot to us. Swinging him down off of turn number 4, and again, you can just see these 3 wide saluting for the top honors to get up to the front right now, and the 33 of Justin Levine just not exactly holding anything back. Meanwhile, dealing with some added pressure from the number 29 there, Heath Snyder. He's currently trying to work his way into the mix, into the bunch here, and now it's starting to turn into a mid-pack race again, as these boys and girls are now having to deal with the added struggle and added pressure right up in the mix. Here comes Cody Griffin, the inside, 3 wide salutes it with Chantel Pot on the outside. Oh, well, we were wondering that was going to happen. And can the 5 hang on? She'll hang on, but takes damage in the mix of it, unfortunately. No caution thrown. They're still green.
Wow. Oh, hold on to there. 60 truck trying to hold on to it. He keeps it straight. Good job.
Well, Brian Rainville said to hold his beer. Well, I guess he didn't just hold his beer. I think he held everything else in place.
Wow, that was a good job by all those drivers. They were literally sideways going into turn number 1 there, and they all got together and got sideways and sliding around. It's going to cost them some positions, but at least they didn't wreck and they're able to keep going forward, and we stay under green.
Stay under green, nearly halfway point reached here right at the moment here. John Garrett, the 6'6", still holding the race lead down, and you know, we were kind of thinking earlier, you know, was he going to try to do this? Was he going to try and end up actually playing that strategy? And, well, he's definitely making it work for now anyway here at Atlanta. And this is actually, when we watched him, this is one of the only tracks we actually got to see him pull off a win on. And I believe this place might be kind of his playground. It might be his kind of home field advantage.
Could very well be. There's some drivers that really have a knack for this racetrack, and really know the ins and outs of it. And you know, if you get a lot of experience here and you figure everything out, to be a top runner up here, it almost kind of feels like a home track to you.
Well, I mean, if you know me as well, the only really tracks I really have had any true experience on, or really I can do well on, are those quarter-mile tracks. Some of the half miles or under the half miles. The only real anything longer than like a mile that I really had any success with was like Phoenix and New Hampshire, I guess, with the street stocks. But obviously those tracks different comparisons to anything. But Phoenix was like the only one that anything I could run, anything we would run there, it seemed like I would always do good. I guess if anything, these drivers are kind of feeling the same tempo, which is if they know how to be versatile, they can make Atlanta kind of falter in their lap and actually start to develop and really strive as the track starts to break down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got those guys early on that'll sit there and, they're good on the early run. They're really fast early on, and then you got those guys that'll kind of patiently wait till the tires burn off a little bit, and have a good handling truck at the end of the run, where everybody else starts fading back because they pushing a little too early.
Halfway.
So yeah.
I was going to say halfway point reached now there as Derek Paulson in the 6 has now moved into the second spot. Had the race lead with Garrett for a minute, but couldn't quite get that bottom stick as much as he's hoping for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's kind of snuck his way up in there right now. We've got John Garrett leading, Paulson in second, Line in third, Nelson in fourth. Good smash share in the number 9 car truck there, moved into the fifth spot.
Dustin Franklin on onboard camera there, showing you a good example of what he's trying to deal with there in that racer number 29 of Heath Snyder. Snyder right now trying to hold up the top end, but you can see the bottom lane does have speed, does have some cook and torque to it. And really, I think honestly that's going to be kind of the strategy that a lot of these drivers are going to play out over time and really kind of keep in mind as they continue along with the race, which is not trying to move too many positions up and over, but mainly just trying to find a section of the track that works better than the rest. But being on that outside line, that does kind of pose a risk that even the 7 of Cody Nelson just learned, which is you can't just simply full throttle the corners. You have to kind of tempo and pace. And watch out for the rest here as Snyder takes a huge hit and kind of reverting down into traffic. Nicely done by the save there by everybody, but boy, that could have been really bad there.
Yeah, that definitely could have really been bad. It's hard to when you hit the wall like that going up in the corner. It's hard not to get in that habit of trying to yank the truck down. You kind of ease it off the wall, because if you yank it back down too quickly, you'd either spin the truck out or get right back into traffic. He did a good job there though of keeping his composure there. Just kind of slided it off the wall a little bit, kept on trucking.
Randy Bledsoe and TJ Mitchell were the 2 drivers nearly clipped up and taken for a wild ride there going on in the back straightaway. Cleared up though. Snyder is back on the speed and back into the pace here, but it's getting pretty rambunctious down there to say the least for some of these drivers.
And we've had a lead change while that was all going on. Derek Paulson has now put the 17 up into the lead. He's passed John Garrett, and now a big battle for third right behind him.
Well, the problem for him is that he may have the race lead. The problem is these guys are now starting to form a draft line, or they were, I should say, as the 47 of Dustin Franklin, I guess, does not like waiting around too much. He gets around Joe Meach there in the number 9. Meach trying to get back at it here as he looks to try to corner him off of turn 4.
While that's going on, here goes the battle for second as well. Levine's underneath Garrett here to battle for second. Looks like Levine used that high line to save some of his tires a bit. Now he's able to make some good runs on Garrett here.
Top speeds being put to good use. Top drivers being thrown at their highest and at their peaks here. This is what it's all about here in this pit stall summer series right now. Worth watching on is an absolute clinic and a half to see and showcase here on PT Race TV. Definitely cannot wait to see more of these guys and what they can bring to the table. That is for certain.
Absolutely, and we're right now we're seeing quite a interesting long green flag run here. I believe this is the longest green flag run we've had so far. And I'll tell you what, now the field's kind of spread out here. These guys are really racing pretty well now.
Pretty well indeed, and it looks like Garrett, his strategy finally starting to get the better of him. Unfortunately, he's losing some pace, losing some drive here, as the truck just simply does not have the speed anymore. The truck is starting to tighten up, and again, with the tight truck on a track like this, you really don't want that. You want it to be a little bit loose, so it can kind of keep its speed, keep its momentum at bay, and make sure you can work the rest of the field in. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. And a lot of these guys and gals too, as we saw earlier, just kind of got put into some very tough spots to have to work around and then have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, as these tires wear, and of course he is on older tires than a couple of the other fellows are that are in front of him here. And as those tires do wear, the truck does tend to kind of push into the corners a little bit. You kind of have to back up the corners a little bit. And of course, when you have to do that and have to get out of that throttle a little bit more, you run a little bit lower lap times, and then everybody else starts going by you.
So we got starting to come by here right now, looking at Cody Griffin, the 03 here, as he continues to drive his own line, drive his own way around the place. Doesn't seem to have too much issues keeping his pit stall series Fort Worth Sprinting 03 up ahead of the boys, right up behind him here, as you see Clinton, Douglas R. Johnson, and Todd Paulston looking on. And the 84 Len Nessie here, unfortunately, or Len McNeese, excuse me, not Nessie. No, I'm not talking about the lockdown sponsor down there. I'm talking about McNeese here. Although that would be kind of a good nickname for Len, the legend of Len McNeese.
I think you might be onto something there.
No, don't you even try to end this one on here, man. I've already got enough trouble as it is, probably just because of our little overlay system breaking up on us.
We got some developments going on here. Looks like John Garrett has decided to bring his 66 down to pit road. So I guess he's finally had enough of them old tires at this point. Wants to come down and get himself some feel goods.
Tires, unfortunately, only can take so much on the track, and only can take so much for a place like this. So he knew he had to go into pit road eventually. And in doing so has kind of caused a little bit of a ripple effect, kind of a little bit of a last minute gapping here with these drivers. The sun is fading away, and we've only seen one other time here on P2AC where the sun actually went completely out. Chris Medford, you know what I'm talking about. For those that don't know what we're talking about, it was literally back the very first race we ever showcased for the iRacing iRock Challenge Series. It was at Talladega in those Inlet Truck Series vehicles, and the race was as long as it needed to be to basically have Talladega literally just turn the lights off on the track, and we raced it straight to the end with then the night lights, just with the lights turning out completely and going completely night with literally only a lap to go. It had to have been one of the craziest things I've ever seen, man.
True. Yeah, that would be quite a surprise for these guys. This race ends up going dark. They can't see anything out there but the pace car headlight. It's quite a unique experience seeing that, and it's just like, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, the only time I'd ever even try is when I have a car that actually has lights on it, but these cars definitely do not have headlights, and no, they're just for show, so.
Yeah, folks, those are absolutely. These are not like actually headlights, tail lights on these trucks. They're just logos on the trucks to make them look like they're headlights. They do not have lights. So unfortunately, if it does get dark, they're going to have to actually just stop at that point because nobody will be able to see anything.
Well, when Lightning McQueen said all those years ago that tracks are always lit, well, he must have forgotten about this one.
That's true.
By the way, while we were talking there, Chantel Powell, Douglas R. Johnson, TJ Mitchell, Joe Meesh, Cody Nelson, Jeff Flynn, Derek Paulson all entered into pit road here. So final strategies being put up into effect. Dustin Franklin and Gordon Larson will end up in pit road. Tim Lee will stay out in the number 24, as he said earlier. He's looking to try to get that long run strategy into full effect.
Yeah, and it's really worked out for him because he's been marching his way up into the top 10, now into the top 5. So his plan so far seems to be going pretty well. If this thing goes green, might have to be talking about him here late in the race.
Could very well be indeed here, as he's got a pretty sweet looking ride here on that number 24. I believe the way he put it was kind of a chromed out scheme here, kind of a different little design. Do really like it. It's a very awesome looking ride here today.
I definitely agree with that.
Dot Boston there, and the number 6 is going to bring the Monster Energy Java machine into pit road as the SP Designs tries not to get himself a black flag penalty for speeding in pit road. That would definitely be a bit of troublesome if I would ever say so myself.
But let me tell you, that would be the worst feeling in the world, especially if you're running in the top 5 and then you come down pit road and you end up getting caught for speeding. It's just that's one of them things you just kick yourself in the head over and just think, man, if I could have just been a little bit more conservative coming on pit road, I wouldn't have got in that trouble.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, trying to just work around pit road and then also trying to work around how other drivers are going to play you there and how they're going to race you. Sometimes it just gets to be the point you're literally looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking, God, man, what the heck am I even doing? Like, am I just not doing something right, or am I doing something completely wrong? But the fact of the matter is, it's just sometimes you just cannot time those pit stops and pit strategies as well as some other people out there. Some just have that gift the same way they do on how to race this places.
That's absolutely right. Yep. Some people just know the right keys and when to do it. And of course, circumstances also kind of dictate that too. If you have a race like we kind of started out here with a couple of yellows, then you get in that mindset that we're only going to have short runs, and then you get a long run like we have right now, and it throws everything you thought of right out the window. So
So the only thing I know I got thrown out the window is the temperature as well as the light as well as the skies right now. It is getting very, very dark, and if you do not know what the heck these drivers are seeing right now, let me give you an onboard camera here. This is Brian Rainville's camera in the number 60 Toyota Tundra. It's extremely difficult at night racing like this without lights on, and you can barely tell where the racing groove is, where some of the air architecture is, and the wall protections themselves start to kind of fade off into existence, and it gets very, very tight and scary to really realize like what the heck's going on down there.
yes, and now I've got to wonder what race control is actually thinking at this point. Are we going to make it to lap 100, or are they going to have to make a call here sooner or later to say, hey, we're going to have to cut this a little bit short because we're going to run into darkness here?
It's really going to boil down to only one thing, and that is, do you plan the strategy well, or do you plan to just go for broke? Either way, there are only one way to go about it, and that's either to finish the race in the proper way, or it's to finish the race with a possible scary little situation.
We're on lap 71 currently, and everybody, I believe, has done a green flag pit stop at this point. Right now, everybody is back out there, pretty much back on the same song as we've been on here since they all pitted. So nobody's like out of sync or anything at this point. So we'll have to see.
Well, we're going to see right now because Justin Levi here passes in the number 33 yet again to the 66 of John Garrett. And John's been passed up quite a few times here in the later half of this race, but it seems though Levi has got the speed, he's got the control. He just needs to try to catch up there with the boys up front, Randy Bledsoe as well as Derek Paulson. Paulson nearly about a 4.5 plus second gap difference amongst this field and amongst this criteria. And he's trying to hang in there and keep these boys equal and trying to keep them honest.
Yeah, I believe that Justin Levine was one of the last trucks to get on pit road, so he would have the freshest tires at this point, and it shows based on the lap times. He's really mowing down these guys. He went around Garrett. He's about almost a second faster than Bledsoe in second, and he's pretty much almost a second faster than Paulson right now. So he's really hauling the mail to try to get up here before this all goes ends here.
It's getting very, very dark there, folks, and believe me, we're not trying to tell you nice stories or horror stories, but I mean, it could end up being that way. Oh no, there is trouble, there's trouble. And I think Randy Bledsoe might have been the one that got himself into that troublesome spot there. The 81 has come to a stop on the turn 2. We'll take a look at the P2 instant replay, and Dustin, yeah, I mean, we were just talking about it. It's getting very, very close to the end just because of that timing now on the weather and as well as the night to day-to-night transition. This one might honestly start taking the cake, or this one could end it here.
I know. I might have to go get some big flashlights out here and start pointing it down at the racetrack just to see everything out here. It is really getting dark. I mean, even like the dark colored trucks that you see out here. All you can see is basically the number at this point. It's really starting to get dark. I can only imagine what those drivers inside are looking at.
Well, while you're at it, if you're gonna go get the flashlights, might as well go get the fireplace out and light up a few s'mores while we're at it.
Ooh, I love the way you think.
Right now, the field just gonna have to get double backed in, and we gotta set back up on the pace here. We are at lap 20. We are at 25 laps left to go here. We will have to wait for the initial call from the race control as well as from the stands down there. I think they will continue just a little longer. Honest to God though, folks, the only thing I could say is I believe they will probably only get to about 10 to go, and that might be the end of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because these caution laps are going by here, and they're going to go by slowly, and that's just going to, decrease the amount of time. Oh, looks like actually we're going to get a quickie yellow here. Looks like we're going to now. They have shortened the caution by a lap, so we're going to go right back to green. It looks like.
They got to get it in as soon as possible, and they know it, so they're going to go for broke here.
I like the call. I like it. We'll get it racked up here, and we'll see what we can do here at the now. I guess we're going to call this the night race at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Well, I mean, I do know the actual Atlanta track actually that has the Atlanta Super Speedway now configuration has lights, and you can see there is lights around this place. So we know that it does work, but it just doesn't work on iRacing, unfortunately. So here we go, though. Bring him down off the front straightaway. We've got 24 laps left, but we'll be able to even get even 10 of it in. We're about to find out.
Oh my goodness, yes, we are under green flag conditions here. We are going down into turn one, and boy, this is something else to see a night race here.
I mean, we said it before, we'll say it again. You never expect anything less than just absolutely unexpected here on Pizza Race TV. This might actually be a bit of a handful here, a little bit of help for some of these guys in the back, because now they can actually start to make a little charge up at them.
Absolutely, yeah, they could definitely. Oh, we got trouble. Oh, there goes the 61 around.
DJ Mitchell in the wreck.
Double zeros in it as well.
Not good at all, and this is the scary part of it all now, folks, is trying to figure out where the heck anyone's at, and you can see Mitchell actually has a black burgundy car on there. That thing is not going to be able to be seen. Here's the 81. They went 3 wide saluting, and the 61 came right into that 81 of Gordon Jr. Oh, man. Slams it right on the front straightaway wall. That safety barrier is not there, folks. That is literally the full-on concrete. Almost a crypt, if you will, just smashing right into that front straightaway there.
Just a brutal hit. Absolutely brutal hit.
Thankfully, everybody seems okay, but I don't know. I mean, I'm getting a little bit nervous here right now for the drivers here, because again, the guys like Cody Nelson, they're literally all blacked out on their end. I mean, that's not the easiest to see here. I mean, you take a look at the onboard camera, Dustin Franklin, you can just see Mish and Nelson, how difficult it's going to be a little bit to catch them if they got a little bit too close together. It's kind of hard to like dictate normally where you see the corners are or how close you are to them. Again, it may not seem like it's bad from afar, but you got to remember something. When you're driving literally side by side, door to door, and you're literally on their corner panels, it's a very dangerous thought to have to think about where you're at and what's going on, to say the least.
Absolutely, and I would even say this. You said, well, maybe, maybe you have to depend on your spotter more, but your spotter can only see what you can see at this point. And with it being so dark like this, I don't even think the spotter can even see what's going on.
All I can say is I feel really, really bad for those on Pizza Race TV right now. I'm trying to figure out who is who and who is where right at this moment. I am sorry, guys. On my end, I can tell a lot better, but I can try to tell you that what you're seeing on your end is a lot worse than what I'm seeing. Right? Brian Rainville just said, too dark for this old timer. I wouldn't say old timer, I would just called him a veteran and the experienced man of the bunch.
Got a couple of drivers down on pit road there, just checking out some damage or whatnot down there. Like Tim Lee might have gotten involved in something down there. He's been pit road for quite a while.
I think they are going to let them keep going. I think they're going to keep them green.
Wow.
They're going to give them one more chance, I think, and after that, I think they're going to have to call it, because one more shade of night, and we're literally going into pitch black territory. It'll be about that time we literally need to just go to Knoxville Raceway and just turn on the lights there and have a night race there.
Yeah, a little consolation race.
You can't blame me, all right? That's actually coming up on the 18th, by the way, which, if you couldn't already figure it out, I'm excited for that. But it looks like, I'm not sure what they're going to be up to here. I don't know if they're trying to tell them maybe we're going to stop the race and call it, or because the 6th, just so they came down here on the front half. Paulson is your race leader. And I'm not sure if they're going to call it or what they're going to do, but he is driving ahead of the race car, of the pace car. I think they want to call it. Yeah, Paulson is the leader. Levine was second. Well, Paulson's going into pit road now. I'm not really sure what's going on down
Yeah,
here.
I'm a little confused by this. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. That's interesting. Yeah, he passed the pace car and went right down into the pit road.
Looks like they're gonna let him go at it. I don't know. This is gonna be a dangerous. It's gonna be a dangerous call one way or another.
Oh, now they're getting the one to go to green.
I mean, they could try and do a survival race and call it good, and we'll try to call it as we see it. But I mean, there's not really much to see.
Yeah, this is this is quite. Yeah, this would be kind of a race within a race at this point. Now doing this.
Yeah, it kind of is at this point. I mean, what else do you really want out of it here? Brian Rainville saying, great broadcast, boys. We really appreciate your support, sir. And then Brandon Medford asked, what happened? Well, we had a wreck, unfortunately, involving 2 or 3 drivers, and that ended up getting a little bit of a pile up. But also, the lights here in Atlanta don't exactly work. So someone didn't pay the electricity bill, and this is what it ended up looking like.
About the only thing I could really see that really stands out is the back bumper of the 03 truck. It has like a shiny blue. I could kind of get a glimpse of it there.
I can just see a very big, like, blue stint of, like, rubber and literally tire shredding off on those corners and off these turns on the front straightaway. That is awesome and cool, but at the same time, it is a very, very scary thought knowing that that's what we can see and that's what these drivers are going up against. 18 laps left to go. They're going to try and go for it.
Oh my, they're going green. Oh, this is going to be something. Green flag is out, and we're going down into turn 1 with nightshades on.
Dustin Franklin literally slamming the wall there off of turn number 2. We're just going to try to call this as best we can. We'll hope you guys can understand what we're doing. Running them down on the back straightaway here, side by side here, battling back here. Nelson, Levine working it in. Nelson trying to hold on as Levine is trying to take full control. His cautions have now wagered his way and maybe given him a chance. However, this is the same guy earlier on who literally had the wheel disconnect and brake completely out on him, and he's trying desperately to make this one stick out one more time, but he's going to get shuffled up again here as Mish moves in the chase, and it's now Nelson and them coming for the lead. Mish pulling it right behind.
So we're going down the back straightaway into turn number 3, still side by side. Very hard to see here, but we can still see somewhat of what's going on. And right now they are doing an absolutely fantastic job in this nightcap here.
And we forgot about Alona Assassin in the mix. She's a good, a silent one, but when she gets it going, she'll take you down quickly. The 5 Chantel Bottle is literally just starting to cut drivers left and right. She's coming back for some revenge.
Oh my goodness, yes, where did she come from? Wow, earlier she was all the way in the back, and now here she is up here contending.
Working it down in the middle end there. She's got to stay out of that trouble in there. There are 3 wide sliding there. As the 47 Dustin tries to get it off that wall. The 03 putted back with Cody Griffin here. The 5 Chantel Bile trying to make a move up on Joe Mish here, looking for the top 3.
They're side by side. They go down into turn number 1, Pottle down toward the white line, and we got a caution.
Caution's out, but the. Oh, hold up, slow down, slow down, slow down! No! Oh my.
Oh, Dustin Franklin. Oh my goodness.
Sent back into the shadow realm there. That wasn't the initial caution reason. I believe Michael Taylor had some problems down there. Len McNeese, Len McNeese there, unfortunately found himself in a bit of a bad spot. But yeah, I don't even know. Should we even try to find anything on the PTMS replay? Are we gonna see anything? You think?
we can definitely give it a shot. I don't know if we will, but
I don't even think I could see anything down there. I don't even know what happened exactly.
it is just so dark.
I'm trying to see here, but I can't see nothing. There was a caution out, though. We know that much. But here's the thing that caught our eye. You guys were watching it on the onboard. Caution was already out. And I guess Jesse Iwuchi, whatever his name was, come back to the virtual world as well and had used a little bit of the 0-3's momentum and pulled a Jesse to Ty Gibbs move there.
At least in this case, it was dark out. It's not daylight out when Jesse did it. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Give him that benefit of the doubt, but not the other way around for Jesse. No offense, Jesse. Seems like a likable guy, but man, like I think Door Bumper Clear kind of already gave him the manufacturer award on that one. Oh, well, can we please call the race?
Yeah. I think at this point,
But I think it might be time to call it, guys. We can't even see anything on the broadcast.
absolutely, yeah. I can't even see the
Anything.
chrome off the rims of the trucks on the ones that do have chrome on them.
Okay, I'll tell you guys right now what we're seeing though. Justin Levine is your race winner. If they finish it, that is a big if. Cody Nelson would go second. Joe Meese would go third, and Chantal Pottle will go fourth. Cody Griffin would go fifth.
And that's if they call it.
Well, that is better call it at this point. Otherwise, they're going to have to just go around the track literally for a full final laps here and not have to do any green-white checkers and finish this race.
My goodness, I don't see how these guys can even see to get around the track.
I don't even know you can see around this to begin with. I've only raced in like one really dark night race, and that was literally back with Daytona International Speedway in the 2011 edition with the actual Cup cars. We can blame Rob or Con for that one.
Yeah, we can blame.
You just can't see anything.
Yeah, there's literally like people actually driving down on the apron just to try to find. Oh wow, that was close. Someone almost got hit there because of that.
Well, Justin Levine just jumped into the pits here. I don't know if he wrecked out completely or what happened there, but I mean, presuming they're going to give him the win. I mean, was
We
your
thought we thought that earlier with Paulson.
I mean,
That didn't happen.
can they get the race? Like, I don't think they can clear the session off here, so.
Man, this is one of the most strangest starts of the season I think you'll ever will see. Is a race actually being ran in the night, no lights. Just, man, I think right now I could probably go get a blindfold on and have better success.
I really have no comment. All I know is, man, there is no way we can see anything right now, and there's no way they're gonna try it. Are they really gonna try this?
I can see the onboard dashes. I can see those. That's about the only thing I can see. The onboard, like you can see the tachometer, like the glowed up tach on the dashes in the trucks when they go in the corner. That's about all I can see.
Well, they're saying they're gonna go green. The lights are
Oh
turned off on the pace car, so
Well, folks, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, about to say, what else can you see? I mean, at this point, I might as well just try to, like, literally tell you how it's going right here and now. We'll just have to try to do our best. If you guys remember the old radio days when they actually called the race like that, well, that's what you're about to get with us.
I gotta say, this is one of the most, I don't want to say unique or bizarre calls I've ever made for this. Wow.
You can't even see the flagman right now. Like,
Oh, and they're wrecking on
they're
the front
wrecking.
stretch before they get a green.
They're wrecking right now.
I don't even know who's wrecking.
Well,
I just see
I
sparks.
can tell you Chantal Bottle wrecked out. I can tell you that Justin Levine, Clayton Fry, Joe Meesh and them have wrecked. Jeff Clifton got the race lead before caution came out, but can we really even say that? They've had to call the race at this point. I think they've already called the race. I really hope they've called the race, or we're gonna have to try to figure out how the heck we're gonna talk about that one.
Yeah.
The producers are looking me over at being like, is this race cursed or something? They are saying the race is over. They have called it. They have called it.
Well. They have called it, but I don't know how they're going to do, what this finishing order be like. Did Jeff Clifton actually win the race? I'm assuming at this point.
Honestly, I don't even know.
Wow. Yeah, we got quite a thing here. There's a
Drivers really can't see in front of them, man. They really cannot.
Nope.
I
I
mean,
mean, you could tell just from that last restart that before they even got the green flag, they were going to be in trouble.
they're going to be in trouble. They're going to be in somewhere else around here. And again, everyone right now is really not able to see. The fans are literally questioning right now, like, what the heck are we supposed to watch, and what are we even watching?
Yeah, and it looks like some of the guys, because they can't see, it looks like they come down pit road and just stop. They just can't see.
Okay, so we can confirm that earlier on, then they called the race. They called it with Justin Levine as your winner. So your driver of the day is going to be the 19 Levine. He will win this race out, and frankly, I am shocked that he even was able to hold on to that one. We're gonna go ahead and bring him in right now, race fans. He's joining us now here as he comes to us as your race winner today, Justin Levine. And Justin, right now as we're currently trying to figure out where the heck anyone is or where everyone went to, I mean, I gotta believe this win probably is gonna be one of the most unique ones to your arsenal in quite some time.
Oh, definitely for sure. I had a bit of trouble at the beginning there. My wheel turned off, and I killed the field there. And I was about to just alt F4, but I saw that we had a quick repair, and I was like, why not go for it?
You did go for it, and it ended up actually working out quite well into your favor. But I mean, with that wheel disconnecting, I gotta believe that it was a little bit disheartening to know that, and then have to literally just fight straight back into the field. Definitely was not going to be on the easy list.
Oh, it was definitely challenging from having only 2 tire sets and just killing my tires with the wheel shutting off. Like I had to fight really hard to stay on the lead lap or get the lucky dog to get onto the lead lap, and everything just kind of fell in place and worked out.
It certainly did indeed. So out of it all, though, I mean, you're gonna walk away with the first win of the season under a very nighty sky. What do you want to thank you for that?
First, gotta thank you guys. You guys do such an awesome job. I can't wait to go back to the broadcast, especially in the nighttime. But that's gonna be something to see. Thank you to Tim Lee for letting me in here. All the admins that help him. A shout out to my sponsors: Checkered One Motorsports, Bruzy Racewear, Racer Apparel, and Edge.
Well, I certainly could say that those sponsors and them, for what we could see of all of them today, are certainly going to be very happy with this one here. Justin, congratulations, and what a race win for you.
Thank you.
Justin Levi, ladies and gentlemen, here. We'll pilot this one into victory lane. We're going to go ahead and bring in the guy that is the madman of the show here, Tim Lee here. And Tim, I don't know who is second and third on the list here to call. I kind of lost track here of who else we're bringing in today.
Yeah, you can bring up Derek. I don't remember if Derek was second or third, or if Cody was second or third. But you can bring those two in.
So Cody and Derek, you said, right?
Yes.
All right, we'll go ahead and get them taken care of, and we'll bring them right in for you.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, so real quick, while we go ahead and start with our next call here, Cody Nelson just joined us here in the number 7. And Cody, I'm gonna say up front, apologies in advance. We have absolutely no idea if you're second or third in this, but we do know you're at the podium, so we'll just go with that here. So congratulations on a podium finish here, and man, talk about a wild little deal you had earlier in the race. You got quite a bit of a showman race there, kind of had a pit down in pit road when the green flag was about to go, dropping up, and from there the truck just seemed like it was really putting speeds back up in its right place at the right time.
Yeah, so I ended up finishing third there. Had some pretty good tire. That early mistake was I was going down pit road to serve a black flag that I somehow got for passing the pace car, so that's what that was, which put me down a lap. Well, not down a lap, but put me chasing the pack early. And I was just able to fight back, luckily.
Able to get the fight back and able to kind of work this one around. Well done there. And I have to ask you as well here. I mean, were you expecting kind of this the madness of this night race to kind of become a factor here for you and the crew?
That last pit stop, I took 4 tires, filled up with fuel, get a little bit more rear percentage for some drive-through, through and off, and I was hoping we could go. I was hoping for another 2 or 3 laps because I think I had the freshest tires in the front, and it definitely would have been an opportunity. I don't know if I had anything with Justin because he was fast, but it would have been interesting.
Certainly would have indeed, but nevertheless, here Nelson, as you come away third for the finish in the field, I gotta ask you, who do you want to thank for all of this?
I just got to thank Tim for putting the league on short notice, little 6-race schedule. So just something to do on a Thursday night. And, I always support whatever he puts on in races just for the fun of it. And that's exactly what these leagues are about, is racing with respect and having fun.
Absolutely indeed. Well, nevertheless, Nelson, we do appreciate you coming on board here today. Congratulations on this third place finish.
Thank you.
Cody Nelson, ladies and gentlemen, comes away third. So, well, you guys are loud and clear. Then second for sure will be Derek Paulson in the number 6 today. And Derek, you know, early on you had a hard charge, you had a hard speed amount of control under the track, and it looked like really late in this one, it looked like no one was going to be able to catch you. The late caution comes out though and derails the momentum. I mean, I gotta believe your mindset wasn't too thrilled about that.
You know, when you got to shorten a race, your mindset goes out the window anyway. So it gets disappointing when you can't go the full length. It messes up strategy, messes up pretty much everything. So I thought it was sitting pretty. Yeah, the last caution kind of screwed me because Justin had better tires. There was no way I was gonna keep up with him anyway. And then on the restart, I kind of spun him a little bit, and that was that.
That was that, and that was kind of how it all started to shape up and take into position. But I mean, for you and your crew, I gotta believe at least though this second place finish is gonna be a very big help for what lies ahead in the next coming races, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. Anything on the podium, anything in the top 5 is pretty good for me. I enjoy that. So it was a pretty good race all in all for us. Hopefully the next race we have a little less cautions, but yeah, it was fun out there. It was nice to get back together with the guys, and look forward to doing it again here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely, it was a lot of fun to call and see you when you were on the track here. So as all plays out today here, and you come away second place, who do you want to thank for this?
Oh, I gotta thank the pit stall, and I gotta thank the admins over there who put that on. Excuse me, allergy season. And gotta thank you up in the booth for broadcasting us, and you gotta thank MFRD, Michael Falk Racing Designs, for painting my truck. I will have a different number on my truck, as I am the 17 in this league. I will get that fixed up the next race, and I gotta thank the drivers for showing up, and I think that's about it.
Well, as the night skies fade off in the distance and we can finally put this race to rest, we do appreciate coming on board here, Derek, and we'll see you guys next time out when the race comes to the best.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Derek Wallace, ladies and gentlemen, the 6 will go second, end out our day and our night, or whatever you want to call it at this point. Sparky, I don't even know what the heck's going on anymore.
My first thoughts is after Justin Levine finally got the call that he was going to be the winner of the race. After that, I wonder where he's going to find Victor Lane at this point since it's so dark.
Well, I thought honestly he wasn't even gonna be able to like find victory lane. Much less was he gonna ever find anything other than just maybe the wall. But hey, I mean, at least it all worked out in his favor, and he's gonna bring this one home. So we at least can say that this one will definitely mean a lot to him, and the rest of the field will have their shortcomings and their positions here to say the least. But nevertheless, though, folks, this one will kind of wrap up here on PT Race TV. So we really do appreciate you guys sticking around, hanging out, and at least working with us. Again, next time we show you, though, we will promise you it's a lot more professional looking and a lot better off than what it was. So, and hopefully the sun stays out, at least without lights on the track. But you know what? All good things have to come to an end. So, Dustin, I really appreciate coming on board back with me here on the show, and great to hear from you again. As we sign off today, though, here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we thank you again for your support. We'll see you guys next time when the green flag flies on PT Racing TV.